Danny Acosta for Fight Magazine here with Strikeforce CEO Scott Coker. Scott, Strikeforce is in its second year. Give yourself a grade, coming into the second year of being a major promotion.
I mean, it's when you say second year, really, this is the month. I think it's been 18 months now. It's been a year and a half, and I mean, come on, we've had Fedor here, we've had the Gina Carano fight, we had Nick Diaz fight a couple times, we had Shamrock, Kung Lee. I mean, we've had some big fights on Showtime and on CBS, so I would have to give us an A+.
Going forward, what fights are you trying to put together that do you think will be exciting for fans?
I mean, if you look at our heavyweight division right now, I mean, it's an amazing division, and all those guys, and there's a lot of beasts in that division. We're gonna have each other. I mean, they're gonna all fight each other. So it's not gonna be one guy fighting all the tough guys. We're gonna put them all into the mix, and we're gonna let them all fight each other. So I'm really excited about our heavyweight division. I'm excited about some of the lightweight opportunities coming up. I think you'll see Kawajiri come fight here, maybe against Josh or Jay-Z or somebody, probably early part of next year. And then with the 185, I mean, I think Mayhem Miller has got some great fights out there, as well as Nick Diaz. So, I think we got a lot of great fights up ahead in all of our divisions.
How much of a priority is a Nick Diaz Mayhem Miller fight?
Well, it's a fight I think should happen. So, for us, it's timing, because we're trying to get some big fights announced in January, February, the first part of next year. So let's see how that goes, and then we'll try to squeeze that in there as soon as we can.
You've had a working relationship with Dream. There's been talk about working with Bellator. Is Sengoku anywhere on that radar? They're a promotion that has Kazu-Misaki and Jorge Santiago, who just had a Fight of the Year candidate. And those are two guys that you've had a relationship with in the past.
Well, the thing with Misaki is we have a direct relationship with Misaki. We actually already have a contract with Misaki, so he owes us one more fight. And Jorge has the ability to fight outside of Japan. Just like some of the other fighters that we've signed from AT&T. So, we could probably put that fight together. I think that'd be an amazing fight to put together on a Strikeforce card in the cage.
Do you feel that Strikeforce Challengers has been beneficial or detrimental to the organization? Because, the brand space is not the same. You've only been on Showtime for like 18 months, like you said. So, getting lower level guys or guys who aren't as known, prospects, to have that draw, how difficult has that been?
Well, when you say that, I mean, here is the benefit of having those challenger fights on Showtime, which I feel very fortunate, because it allows you to go target guys and say, okay, this is going to be our guy, this is going to be our guy, like Tyron Woodley, who's fighting tonight, Andre Galvo, who's fighting tonight, and guys like Daniel Cormier, who's here, Luke Rockhold, who's here, which normally they'd be fighting on a much smaller card, and then they'd have to work their way up, and then you wouldn't have any TV time on them. So now we have the opportunity to say, these are the guys that have evolved. These are the guys we're gonna back, and we're gonna see how far they can take it. But all these fights are going to be on television. So now we have a great library. We follow their career along. Showtime audience has seen them fight throughout their career on Showtime. So I think it's a victory.
Sarah Kaufman, the reason I bring it up is because Sarah Kaufman was pretty vocal about not being on the Challengers card. She felt like she deserved to be off of it. And, it seems that people kind of construe it as a punishment almost, where, they want to be on the bigger Strikeforce cards.
Well, I mean, you can't blame them for that. And, the thing with Sarah was just timing. I mean, to me, do you not fight because there's not a slot available on the championship fight card? I mean, take the fight in Challengers, and it's still a great fight, and you're building your brand, you're building your name. We're trying to build you as a star in the Strikeforce League. So, what? Why not take the TV time and fight in the fight and then continue forward? But believe me, her goals and our goals are the same. We wanted her on the bigger fight cards, and we just wanted to give her one more fight to make sure that she fought consistently and didn't have to wait, because we had other commitments already with other fighters to fight on the bigger show.
Do you feel that Strikeforce Challengers provides sort of an inconsistency to the shows, because the major shows that you have, for example, DS Noons here, draws a lot of attention, but Strikeforce Challengers tends to fly under the radar?
Well, the thing is, when you talk about flying on the radar, the ratings have been fantastic. So there is a following for Strikeforce Challengers. And again, we're looking for the next guy. Is it going to be Ryan Couture? Is it going to be Justin Wilcox? Is it going to be, the next group of guys that we're identifying, like LeVar, Billy Evangelista? So are they going to be the next guys? And the Strikeforce Challengers Strikeforce Challengers fight opportunity for these guys is they get to go prove themselves. And if they prove themselves, then they'll graduate. And if they don't, then maybe they have to reevaluate and take a step back to take a step forward.
On the last broadcast, you guys talked about Jacare and Jake Shields, and Jake Shields dodging that fight. Was that something that Frank Shamrock went ahead on his own, or was that a Strikeforce directive?
I didn't even hear it. So you're saying that Frank Shamrock said that?
Yeah, during the broadcast, they said that Jacare, after he captured the title, that Jake Shields had dodged him.
Well, the truth is we offered Jacare twice to Jake, and no disrespect to Jake because, I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a great fighter. We wish him well in his career. But we did offer Jacare to Jake twice, and his management turned it down.
And so with, you got the fight coming up on December 4th. Herschel Walker is back. What are your hopes for guys like Herschel Walker? You're also courting Batista and these kind of fighters who have name value but aren't necessarily going to be future champions in your organization.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like if you look at our events and our roster, I mean, it's 99% of them are the fighters that have made a lifelong commitment and had the MMA background, they come from like Dan Henderson. How many Olympians do we have now? We probably have 5-6 Olympians, great mixed martial artists. So we're committed to that. But when you get a guy like Bobby Lashley and you want to see how far he can go, Dave Batista, see how far he can go, Herschel Walker, Herschel wants to do this a couple times and he wanted to, maybe not do it anymore. So when those opportunities come up, I mean, to me, why not do them? It's a fun fight. It's a fun fight that people want to watch, and but they're not going to be, I don't see Herschel say, I'm going to fight until, I get a title shot at Fedor or Alistair Overeem or, Fabricio Verdum or whoever the champion is at that time. Herschel wants to do this a couple times. I mean, you guys know what he did with the, he gave it all back to charity. Yeah. So, he put a house on a church that he wanted to donate to. So he said now he's got a bunch of roofs that he has to put on churches. So maybe he'll fight a couple more times, and we'll see.
Well, with Batista and Lashley, you said why not? Well, I would ask why.
Why not?
Well, Batista's 0-0, and he does bring a great name, but, you're a high-level mixed martial arts promotion.
I mean, when LAC was doing Kimbo Slice, they got a lot of heat, and then when we went to UFC, it's like, oh, it's okay now. I mean, to me, there's a lot of high-level mixed martial arts promotions that have fought, these type of fights. So why not?
You talked about big plans in 2011. By the end of that year, how do you think Strikeforce will be perceived?
I think people say that's an amazing heavyweight division they got.
Scott Coker.